What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Cowboys Corner. This is Talking Crazy on the corner of Cowboys and Crazy, right? Every Saturday I try to bring this to you guys. So far, it's been every Saturday. There might be Saturdays where I miss it. There might be Saturdays where I'm here. There could be Saturdays where it's kind of dead. And there could be Saturdays where it's popping, right? But we're here. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss a show, because Talking Crazy is what it is. You could bring up any topic, anything that you want to talk about, any discussion, as long as you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. The link is in the chat box. Daniel, what's up, man? Hope everything's good with you, brother. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. First, I want to talk about this. All right. Welcome, Daniel. I got a countdown going down on Twitter. All right. And the countdown is 30 days. I'm on 32 days straight asking the Dallas Cowboys not to extend Dak Prescott. Hollywood, what's up, man? I hope everything's good with you, Hollywood. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Crazy. Remember, the link is pinned. If any of you guys want to come in and join, it's definitely there. I know there's some people that want to make it and talk crazy. So that's what we're going to do. We'll welcome you in into Talking Crazy. But I want to talk about my countdown on Twitter. All right. Check this cup out. Bam. I want to talk about my Twitter stuff. All right. People. So I got day 32 asking the Dallas Cowboys not to extend Dak Prescott. And this stuff is really triggering people. What's up, Deontay? What's up, man? I'm good, brother. I hope you're good. But this Twitter stuff, man, I'm doing Draft Guru in the house. Danny, you know what to do, brother. Click the link. And we'll bring you in here. And I'll ask you some draft questions, but I got to talk about this Cowboy stuff, man, about my countdown, because, man, Cowboy fans, dude, are tripping. So what I got going on is I'm on day 32 straight of asking the Dallas Cowboys not to extend Dak Prescott, _Cowboys Corner, if you guys want to go see that interaction. You know, the first 3 weeks, it was dead. Hardly any retweets, hardly any likes. But Cowboys Coles, you know, some of my buddies, you know, they're Dak fans. Daniel, what's up? Another Daniel in the building. Hope you're good. It's going good. It's going good. Short Dog. I'm Cowboys Mac on Twitter, and it's wild out there. Thank you, Cowboy Mac, Short Dog. So he knows what I'm talking about. It's definitely wild out there. And because Cowboy fans, dude, I think the reaction that I'm getting is Cowboy fans are scared of change. Like, their only hold on is Dak is the only option. Like, Dak is our only option to win a Super Bowl. And then they bring up Lamar Jackson. They bring up Josh Allen. Those guys are 3 years away from 30. Dak Prescott's about to be 31 in July. Why are we being scared? Why are we being scared of moving on from Dak? Why are we being scared from moving on to Dak? They have no arguments. It's like talking to a wall, because they'll rip excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm scratching my head like, how is this possible? But the countdown's going to continue. And there's some disrespectful fans out there. And there's some great fans that really want to talk about this. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys could not extend Prescott. They just can't. And if they do extend Dak Prescott, I got another countdown for you. I can't expose it right now. I can't talk about the next countdown if they do extend Dak. Can't do that. But I'll let you know what's up. Let him hit for agency. And trust me, no team will pay him that much. No quarterback at this given moment. All in soil. What's good? Deontay, Sam, everybody in the building. Clutch. Nobody, no quarterback, whether that's Allen, whether that's Lamar, whether that's Burrow, None of these quarterbacks should be getting paid more than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the standard of what the NFL quarterback right now is. Tom Brady retired. Pat Mahomes filled that shoes. But let me get this thing straight. I don't care about Josh Allen. I don't care about Lamar Jackson. I don't care about Joe Burrow. You know why I don't care about those guys? You know why I don't care about those guys? Because they don't play for the Dallas Cowboys. What I got to deal with is Dak Prescott. The only time I got to deal with Josh Allen, Dak Prescott didn't beat. Who I got to deal with? Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott didn't beat. Cooper Rush did. Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott didn't beat. When we talk about these quarterbacks, I don't care about these quarterbacks unless we play them. You see what I'm saying? Danny Savage, you coming in? The link is pinned, brother. The link is pinned. Let me try this way too. Let me try this way here. Yeah, I know it's copied. I just copied it. But _ Cowboys corner, guys, if y'all want to see, the interaction with some of these Cowboy fans and how they're so scared, to get uncomfortable. I mean, it's like Jerry, and I don't put this all on Dak Prescott. I don't put this all on Dak. That defense played like trash. But when I need Dak Prescott to go down there, his first 4 drives was they were horrible. His first 4 drives were not good. And so, it's back to typical Dak. And then, the defense, they were horrible. For the last 2 years, the defense held the 49ers under 20 points, and we couldn't go get 21. We couldn't get 21 points. We couldn't get 20 points. We couldn't go win the ball game. We got 36 wins in a row, 3 seasons. What did we have to show for it? Exits. We don't have tickets to NFC championships. Brando, the best moderator in the building, is right here. Yeah, let's talk about the cap space. Let's talk about the cap space, Brando. I think it's great. All these benefits for retired players. Yeah, we need that. We need benefits for retired players. What is it, like 80% of the players who leave the league go broke? There was a scare with Adrian Peterson this week that he was auctioning off some college trophies and some badass career trophies. And he had to come out and make a video, said, no, that was not part of the deal. I got money. I'm financially stable, yada, yada, yada. But the NFL has to do a better job of taking care of those guys because CTE is real. CTE is very real. And I think Mike in the building. What's up, Mike? I really hope Dak doesn't get $60 million a year. Dude, Mike, listen, I'm right with you, brother. I'm right there with you. It just can't happen. I don't put it all on Dak simply because part of the reason why we're losing the playoffs the last 3 seasons, when you get paid this much, you should elevate the team and not hurt the team. And Dak didn't elevate the team. Sure, he could elevate the team in regular season, Sam. He can do that in the regular season. But when it comes to the big games, week 5, 49ers, Bills, there comes a point in time where a shootout is going to have to take place. And we can't sit here confidently and say Dak Prescott can win those shootouts. I can't sit here confidently and say that. He can bring us back, but he can't go toe to toe like that 2013 game with Tony Romo and Peyton Manning. That was a great game, by the way. Back and forth, boom, 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 boom. Tony Romo choked, right? I don't think Dak can do that, and I don't think Dak has shown that he could do that, and I don't think Dak has done that yet in his career. Is elevate, but the salary cap. Getting $30 million on the books, that's fantastic. That means the Cowboys are 8 over the cap, so they're $8 million negative. So possibly restructure Dak Prescott. Don't extend them. You don't have to extend Dak Prescott. You could restructure Dak Prescott, use voidable years, push money down the line, get younger at the quarterback position, and the quarterback position is only going to cost you $35 million for a couple of years till all the Dak dead money's gone. All right. I'd rather pay that than $60 million a year. Last time Dak went toe-to-toe was against Big Ben. That was rookie year. And Who was the big showstopper there? Was it Dak or was it Zeke? All in soil. Ask yourself, was it Dak that went toe to toe or was it Zeke that went toe to toe? I know Des Bryant caused a bunch of double coverage, and Dak handed the ball off to Zeke, and Zeke ran it in for the touchdown. Good night, Irene. Quote, end quote, Troy Aikman. Good night, Irene. Remember that? I do. That was regular season. Dak has had some baller games, and he has, Deontay. He has had baller games in the regular season. But I can't sit here. Dak came back in the end, but that was a long time ago. Dak is greedy. He is not going to do a damn thing to help the team if they don't extend him. Let's just call it how it is. Yeah, no, I agree with you, M. Sam, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But the salary cap being at plus 30 million, higher than anyone expected. That's good for the National Football League. That's good for That's good for younger teams who have younger quarterbacks. I mean, that's going to help guys out like Dan Quinn, who has all that cap space. The Commanders can really use that cap space and really be contenders. Go on a firing spree and sign a whole bunch of maybe potentially has-beens or still prime players. VTPSTTU in the building. What's up, man? Thank you. Zeke won that Steelers game up the middle, 60-yard run. And Des Bryant was a big part of that. Des Bryant was definitely a big part of that Steelers game. Who do you want as linebacker? Devin White. Devin White would be a great linebacker, Brando. Danny Savage, you coming in, Danny Savage? I don't know if I want McQueen. I don't know if I want McQueen. I don't know if I want Wagner either. Wagner's too old. Wagner's too old. Give me Devin White. Give me Devin White. There's a couple of Tampa Bay Buccaneer linebackers I wouldn't mind having. Seriously, there's some good ones. There's definitely some good ones. Cowboys corner salute. Troy Looper in the building. Salute to you, Troy. Thanks for coming in to Talking Crazy. Alan in the building. What's up, Alan, and OG of the channel? They appreciate the love. Alan, always coming in here showing love. I appreciate you. Did you watch the Elimination Chamber? I sure did. I watched it like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't watch it live. I watched the Elimination Chamber at 10 in the morning. I got to sleep in. I still got to watch the Chamber. I didn't get spoiled by any Santi spoilers on TikTok or anything on Twitter. I kind of just posted the Dak thing of 32 days. Cowboys don't extend them. And then I went to go watch the Elimination Chamber. And man, what a good chamber. I know this ain't WWE content, but what a good chamber. I knew Becky was going to win it. I knew Drew McIntyre was going to win. I knew Mommy was going to keep the belt. You knew the Judgment Day was going to keep the tag team champions. It was kind of predictable in a sense, but nonetheless, I thought the superstars did really good maneuvering and choreographing everything. Retro Scotty in the building. What's good in the hood? What's fun in the sun? Who do you got in the first round in the draft? Let's pull up my Excel sheet. Let's do that real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's pull up some Google Excel. Let's pull up some Google Excel. Let's go over some draft picks, huh? Let's see. File, import. Come on. Let's see. No, don't touch my crypto wallet. How do I open this? View, edit, file. Open. Here we go. Maybe it's open. There we go. Let's open up my Excel sheet, guys. This is Talking Crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys, guys. You're more than welcome to click the link and join in. Anybody's welcome. But you guys come in if you need to. And let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. First round. I like the WWE talk. I own WWE stock for 20 years. Wow. Didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, DCF, what's up? Cowboys Corner, what's up with you? Thanks for tuning in. But let's see if I could do this. Share screen. I understand. Excel and share. All right, and then let me make sure show on screen. Okay, can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up Sky High, what's up, man? Can y'all guys see that, or how do I make that bigger? Let me see. I got the show playing on my cell phone here. Let me see if I can see this. Yeah, you can see it. I can see the names. Where's the gang at? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it be popping, sometimes it don't. But let's go over first round. Let's go over the. I don't know how to zoom in. God, I'm like an old man when it comes to this stuff. You know that? Let's see. Oh man. All right. So if I'm going first round here, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, all those guys are going to be gone. So let's go up just a little bit here. Jackson Powers Johnson wouldn't be a bad first round pick. That center there. Amarius Mims. I'm big on Amarius Mims at 6'7", 340. I do like Amarius Mims a lot. I'm really big on him. Byron Murphy, I think, is too small at 6'1", 297. I don't know how his NFL career is going to pan out. I know he puts on good tape and he does good things. Short Dog says, Mike, I don't trust Catboy. I don't either. Yeah, I would be very happy with Johnson Powers Johnson. Yeah, I would too. You look at Coleman, the wide receiver out of Florida State, I'd be happy with. Mike McCarthy loves drafting those wide receiver type players. Troy Franklin is another guy I wouldn't mind having. McConkey out of Georgia, I wouldn't mind having as a first round pick. Braylon Trice, I wouldn't mind having as a first round pick. There's a lot of good players here that the Cowboys can get at 24. And so it'll be real interesting to see how the Cowboys, maneuver the draft, or, what's their definition of going all in and things like that. So we'll definitely see what they do there. But that would be, guys that I look for in the first round. It's guys like that who, when you look at the needs of the team, right, and Retro Scotty, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, the trenches, right? You look at the needs of the team. You can't go wrong with the trenches. You just can't. And Cowboys historically on the offense side of the ball has done really good. The likes of Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, the undrafted free agent guys like Lyle Collins and Ronald Leary. And then you look at Terrence Steele, the newer guy. There's a lot of key pieces that the Dallas Cowboys can do to get this offensive line moving, because you look at Tyron Smith, he wants to come back and play another year. You look at Tyler Smith, he don't want to play left tackle, so let's not make him play left tackle. He's comfortable at left guard. He's our left guard moving forward. Tyler Biadasz, I don't think the Cowboys sign him, but you have a young buck like Brock Hoffman that can go in there and possibly really do something good for the center position. You look at TJ Bass, another young guy who's really stepping up and doing something. And then, Zach Martin's getting long in the tooth. Let's just call it how it is. He's getting older there. And you look at Terrence Steele, coming off that ACL injury, didn't look good. So when Retro Scotty's saying the trenches, you have to mimic that and say, yeah, you know what? You're onto something there, Retro. And then you look at the trenches on the defense side. Yeah, you could just look at the front seven of the Dallas Cowboys. You can just look at the front seven. You look at Tank Lawrence, one of the best run defenders in the game of football. How's he coming along? Micah Parsons isn't a every down player. He just isn't. He's not a true linebacker. He just isn't. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but he just ain't. You look at Oso Odigizua, who's probably the best interior defensive lineman that the Dallas Cowboys have. Chauncey Goldston isn't panning out. Mozzie Smith, fresh start, new coaching staff, new D-line coaches. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think, when Retro Scotty says the trenches, yeah, Retro, you're more than welcome to come in, Retro. That's why the link's pinned, brother. If I need to send the link again, let me send the link again. No, the link's there. You're more than welcome to come in. The trenches is just where it's at, guys. And the Dallas Cowboys need to build the trenches, because you build the trenches, that's going to help Dak. That's going to help the run stop ability. Excuse me. That's going to help the run stop ability. That's going to help Micah Parsons. It's just going to help a lot of people. And so the Dallas Cowboys need to build those trenches up. And that's, whether that's wide receiver, I wouldn't mind that. I don't think that would be a reach. But if you go O-line, if you go defensive line, if you go linebacker, that's going to help the defensive secondary absolutely, because you get good pressure, less time for the quarterback, have to scramble, the routes break down, then you're in scramble drills. Our guys can cover. They played man all year. They're not zone guys. Mike Zimmer might make them a zone guy. Who knows? Under Dan Quinn, they wasn't. So I like, scramble plays. I like our guys in those situations, but you have to have a good front seven in order for that to happen. You just have to. But no, the link's there. Let me know if the link's working. If anybody wants to come in, I know Retro Scotty's probably working on that. But yeah, so far, we've been live for 20 minutes. Man, that was fast 20 minutes. You guys hit the like button if you haven't already. That definitely helps out the stream on Talking Crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys, where anybody's welcome to come in as long as you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Let's see, we got 12 likes. Guys, we got 20 people. I just need 2 people to hit like right now. Let's see what that can do for the stream. If you got any questions, you guys drop it in there. I don't know why I'm honestly not that hyper about hiring Zimmer, because it's not a young guy. I mean, I think that's what it could be. I'm not speaking for you, but I think that's what it possibly could be. We always beat the Vikings. We always beat the Vikings in that defense. But you look at the key pieces like Anthony Barr, a Smith, the safety there. You look at their defensive line. You look at there's a lot of talent there that just never got put together. And I'm hoping. Yep, here's Retro right here. Welcome aboard, Retro. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me on, Cowboy Corner.
No problem, dude. No problem, man. So what were you hyped about Zimmer?
Well, I'll say this in all honesty. I don't hate it, nor do I love it. But I feel like it's kind of like a safe move for the Cowboys organization, or really for the Joneses overall. Yep. So I'm not gonna do a hate fury rant on it, nor am I just gonna fall in love with it. I'm I'm indifferent to it. It is what it is.
No, Cowboys blog and I.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. Cowboys blog and I. That was our guy. We and then you got the Rex Ryan news that came in, and you're like, okay, how do we balance this out? And then the Zimmer news came out. That was it was Ron Rivera first, then it was Zimmer, then it was Rex. And I
definitely
was like,
not Ron Rivera for sure. No.
I kicked Ron Rivera out as soon as I heard Mike come in. And then when I heard Rex come in, Ron Rivera was way down the line for me. But if I had either Rex Ryan or Mike Zimmer, I would have been happy. I just would have. I don't. But Rex Ryan, hasn't been in the game for this long, that or the third. But he had really good defenses, and he had good players like Darrelle Revis and these guys. And I don't want to say confidently that we have those type of players, but you look at Deron Bland's success, you look at Trayvon Diggs' success. Rex Ryan would have had those pieces like Mike Zimmer has to really put something good together. And because when Rob Ryan was here, the defense I thought did okay. Back there in 2011. When Rob was here, I thought the defense was okay. The problem was we didn't have any killers. We had Sean Lee was always hurt. We had guys like J.J. Wilcox and stuff like that. So
actually, J.J. Wilcox didn't come until 2013. I remember those years, 2011, 2012. I don't know. Maybe I think our deep defensive backs were maybe getting older.
No, it was Mike Jenkins. Mike Jenkins. I'm sorry. Remember Jenkins?
Yeah. He had a better 2011 season than he did in 2010. I'll say that. He played a little more tougher to me, in my opinion. But I felt like for whatever reason, Newman was kind of declining. I remember we signed Abram Elam in that season because of the lockout or something like that. And I forget what his Keenum Coleman. The free agent acquisitions back in 2011. I barely remember that.
Yeah, there's a Keenan Coleman out of Florida State that could possibly get drafted to the Cowboys.
Probably.
So there's that.
I might be mispronouncing his name, but it was something like that.
Well, you're good. You're good.
But
I'm not a big fan of bringing back a guy after this many years. And I understand that. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Mike Zimmer here, and because he wasn't a big fan of it. And then Jaja Binks, another good subscriber of mine, said Mike Jenkins had one good year, and I think that was the year under Rob Ryan back in 2011.
No, actually, it was when Wade was still the defensive coordinator. Whenever Brian Stewart was gone, that was in 2009, where he had 5 picks. I remember that pretty well.
Man, that's when 2009. That's when we beat the Eagles 3 times.
Yeah, 34-14 was the final. I remember that. In fact, I believe Jenkins had an interception in that game, but I think he fumbled it, and he might have had another one. He had almost another one, but it was out of bounds. So
right. Nope, that's
but
good
then
stuff.
It was like the Minnesota Vikings game, like crushed his spirit. Then the Packers game? He was at his, I can't remember which one it was in 2010, where he was at his absolute worst or something.
Oh yeah, that was the Packers. Dude, remember? I don't know if a lot of people remember this. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you're because I lived in Texas. At the time before that game started, that Packers game, Jerry went and did like a sit down interview talking to Cowboy fans to keep the faith, and we're gonna get this right. And I don't know. Did I lived in Texas, so I seen that. Did you see that before the game? Before that Packers game?
I don't remember. It's been way too long. If he did.
Yeah, before that game started, Jerry went there and said, "Believe in us, Cowboy fans. We're going to get this right. We're going to start winning ball games." And then we got embarrassed by the Packers.
Probably
and Wade Phillips got fired on the plane going back to Dallas.
And yeah, Jerry was very upset. And he did something that he never thought he would ever do, was fire a head coach mid-season.
Yeah, but but Jason Garrett kind of sabotaged Wade Phillips, dude.
Yeah, apparently Patrick Quayton mentioned something about they had a different playbook, and then whenever Wade was gone, they got a different one. Apparently.
Well, before they even hired Wade, Jerry handpicked Jason Garrett to be the coordinator, and so Wade Phillips didn't get to pick his own coaching staff. No. Garrett was already in place, so there's already some stuff there. And then we wasted 10 years with Jason Garrett as a head coach.
He should never have been a head coach. He was not even a very good offensive coordinator, but I feel like we're beating a dead horse with Carrot Top. So yeah.
Yeah, but what's embarrassing though is that when he got fired, he wasn't even fired when his contract expired. Yeah. He went to go be a coordinator for the Giants. That didn't work out. He got fired. And then Duke didn't want him at the college level. Nobody wanted him. So now he's on TV. Mm-hmm. We wasted 10 years on this guy where the collegiate level don't even want him.
Yeah. And he only lasted a season and a half with the Giants. That should tell you something. He was never that good as an offensive coordinator. No,
or a head coach.
He might have been okay. But as coordinator and head coach, no fucking way.
He was just too big of a player guy. Kind of like Dan Quinn. Want to be friends instead of wanting to be
much of a player's coach.
A coach.
He has his own mantra, the right kind of guy mantra, whatever it was, or he just didn't have the balls to really put people in their place or really make changes. Like he was afraid to do anything like that of that sort. Mm-hmm. Either it was really just his personality, or maybe Jerry was it was a coach that Jerry could control as usual. That's what it was.
Right. Let me ask you this. Were you shocked that Jerry was keeping Mike McCarthy for his last year of that contract? What was Retro thinking?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to keep him. I don't know. Just it's anything to make the Joneses feel comfortable. That's what Jerry thinks, and probably Steve-O thinks. Anything they can do to just, not, muck things up for whatever reason, not blow the whole thing up, which really should have happened. I would have gotten at least the guy from the Ravens, or at least someone who has can bring some toughness to this team, to hold players accountable, to actually maximize their potential right like they should, or put them in positions to succeed like they should. Like, for whatever reason, why on earth would you take a fucking safety and think that he's going to be a high-quality linebacker throughout the entire game? Maybe in certain situations where in passing situations, maybe Marquise Bell could excel. But for him to play linebacker the entire fucking game, no, it doesn't work. If he can't shed blocks, if he can't diagnose plays or make tackles, why on earth would you fucking do that? And I'm sorry to go on this rant, but the Mozzie Smith pick, I was actually excited for it because we needed a defensive tackle that could at least hold some ground in the running game. And apparently it's later revealed that they made him lose weight and try to play in a different tackle position. I'm like, why on earth would you fucking do that? That's almost like Jurassic Marinelli bullshit again.
With Tristan Hill type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Tristan Hill kind of stuff. But I thought, Mozzie had more talent than that because he had pretty decent 40 time. He has good bench press reps. He has the ability to, be a good run stuffer and maybe offer a little bit in pass rush, but maybe not quite yet. It takes a little bit of time. But why on earth would you try to rush him into a position that he never should have played in the first place? Why on earth would you do that? I don't get it. I really don't.
I think they panicked. I mean, LVE went down early in the year. They signed that one linebacker. What the hell was his name? And they cut him because he got pulled over and had marijuana and a gun on him. What the heck was his name? Someone help me out in the comments section.
Something Evans.
Yeah, Rashad Evans.
Rashad Evans, yeah. He was a first-round pick with the Titans.
Right. And in the same draft, LVE was picked. And so you look at that and you're like, okay. And then Marquise, when Overshown went down, that's when the conversation of Marquise Bell taking over for Overshown. So Overshown was already there at the beginning of the year, and then you had LVE go down. Damone Clark was still learning it and coming in and stuff like that. I just lost the internet. Oh no! Welcome back. Welcome back, man. And so when all that happened, then you go into the playoff game. You've been playing man all year, Dan Quinn, and then then you come in here and you play zone and you get torched by Jordan Love, who respectively has come in his own, and he looked like he looked pretty great. And shout out to the Packers for building for the future at the quarterback position. But we couldn't do anything to confuse Jordan Love when it mattered.
Yeah, exactly. Why on earth would we play zone when we haven't really been doing that? And you made no adjustments at all. Guys were running wide open. Why on earth was that happening? I mean, if Stephon Gilmore's injury was that serious, shouldn't you have had him on a limited snap count? I would have actually rather see how, Nahshon Wright would have done, because he actually did okay in that Washington game. I mean, yeah, granted it's Washington. They had some pretty speedy receivers with what's his face, Terry McLaurin, who's like a 4-3 guy. Same with Curtis Samuels. He's also a 4-3 guy. So why on earth did you at least not put him, in there to show what he could have done? If he got burnt, he got burnt. At least it would have been something different. If Gilmore was really limited by that injury, they should not have played him like that, or at least played in certain situations a bit more man coverage rather than the stupid soft zone shit that you saw out there where guys were getting wide open. No press coverage, no nothing. And supposedly there was like a video that leaked that supposedly Dan Quinn may have sabotaged that game. I don't know if that's true. If it is, fucking shame on you, Quinn, for doing that bullshit. You should have been more concentrated on the game plan and helping us win that game, because I wanted to win against the Packers, because I thought this year was going to be different because we were so much better at home. We absolutely destroyed opponents at home. And this is what you come up with? No, I'm glad he's fucking gone. We can call him Traitor Quinn from now on, because that's what he is, a fucking traitor.
Right. And so, we talked about Mike. We talked about Dan Quinn. There should have been no reason why they were not fired after that game. And shout out to Simus Says right there in the flesh. I hope your health is doing better, Simus. It was unfortunate that happened when we were supposed to meet up in Dallas, but I hope your health is doing great. Too many excuses in the postseason games. It's pathetic. And he hits it right on the money. But we talked about Dan Quinn. We talk about Dak. We talk about this. Why would you target a guy that had 1,700 yards only 2 times in the first half?
Yeah.
Why? How is that even possible?
Oh, so CeeDee Lamb was only targeted twice in the first half?
In the first half. And he dropped 1.
He dropped 1. That should have been caught. That's no excuse for that. I mean, Dak played like shit. I'm going to say this, and that pick 6 really didn't help, and really just took us out of the game complete. Just took any chance of us coming back. It just sucked the whole soul of us all out of there. And I was like, we're not coming back in that game at all. And
here's what I will say.
Sorry. Okay, you go ahead.
he said Mike Zimmer ain't no better. Here's what I'll say. I like the Mike Zimmer move. Retro, I do. But here's what I'll say.
I don't hate it nor love it. I'm indifferent. I mean, it's all right, but I feel like it's like another safe hire for Jerry. That's why I would have gotten someone younger. But hey, if Zimmer is your best option, then fine.
But here's my problem, though. Here's my problem. This is what I'm thinking. This is talking crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. This is where you could say this. I think when Mike McCarthy came in here, he handpicked Mike Nolan, and that was a disaster.
Yeah, that was a train wreck.
I think Jerry's like, you know what, Mike McCarthy, I'm going to pick this next defense coordinator. His name's Dan Quinn. I think Jerry picked Dan Quinn to come in here and build that up, right?
Right.
I have a feeling that Mike McCarthy handpicked Mike Zimmer because he earned the trust back from Jerry after 36 wins in 3 years. Jerry hasn't seen that in a long time. And so, or if ever. So I was like, I think that Jerry let Mike pick Mike Zimmer. And if Mike McCarthy is picking these guys, it hasn't really worked out for him. So the only concern that I would have with Mike Zimmer is if Mike McCarthy picked it, because his history shows when he picks coaches, it ain't good.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud, isn't Scott McCurley, he's like the linebackers coach, and wasn't he a freaking quarterback? Why on earth would you put him at linebacker? Why not hire a guy like, hey, I wouldn't actually mind Ron Rivera as a linebackers coach. That's it. As defensive coordinator, head coach, no way. Linebackers coach, I think he'd be a good positional coach, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
And also, M. Sam mentioned something about D-Law moving on. I think we should, especially since he gave that excuse, oh, we were just tired. Bullshit. You didn't fucking show up for that game. You just had your heads up your asses thinking, oh, yeah, we're 8-0. We're 8-0 at home. We're undefeated. We can just roll over these Packers, right? Yeah, you got rolled over. I don't think you got any sacks or any tackles for loss, right, D-Law? I mean, gosh, you were paid $10 million a year, and you got maybe 4 or 5 sacks at best. Supposedly you're a good run stopper. I would trade his ass, honestly. Yeah, trade him and Zach Martin. Get Sean Slater at left tackle. Get a first-round pick. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Building in the trenches, whether it be offensive line or defensive line. That's what I would want. In fact, I'd actually rather have 2 offensive line where we can get a center and like a new right tackle for the future. And I was making a suggestion that we should move Steele to left guard. I think he'd excel at that position. Right tackle, I don't think so. But that's just my humble opinion. I know that's just like maybe my far-fetched idea, but I think it could work. With certain retooling of the offensive line to where you can put certain players in good positions to succeed. I think the line could be just as good as it was back in 2014, 2016.
So, yeah, I agree with you, Retro. So he said, Simus here, except Al Harris.
I don't know about Al. He hasn't really gotten enough experience.
And I wish you would have went to that game, Simus. I wish you would have. Here's my thing. It's so hard for me to go to a game and watch it. It really is, because I'm a geek. I want to look at the sidelines. I want to see body language. I want to see that. I want to see how Dak's commanding the huddle. I want to see how players are responding to Dak Prescott, because the cameras only pick up one shot. You don't get to see everything, right? But I was paying attention to Al Harris. Matter of fact, I got a picture on my phone here, and I was paying attention to Al Harris. And one thing that Al Harris does that Dan Quinn didn't was hold players accountable. And I'm hoping
that's one thing I do like about Zimmer. But the question is, will Jerry let him do that, or even Mike McCarthy?
They're going to let him because they let Al Harris do it. But Dan Quinn wasn't on the field. Dan Quinn was up in the skybox.
Yeah, we need someone on the sideline. That's what we need. We need a defensive coordinator on the sideline that will get into players' faces if they fucking screw up or they don't, make the right plays like they should have done.
And I seen Al Harris, on the sidelines talking to guys and coaching them and doing things. So when you say except Al Harris, I get that, because Al Harris held him to a whole nother standard. And I think Mike Zimmer, like you said, Retro, will do that, because these young players coming in, they're soft, and you got to mold them.
Yeah.
Right. Because you look at the culture of social media. You look at the new NCAA rules about getting money and getting paid for this and commercials and stuff. So these guys now are going to think, hey, I got it made. Then I'm going to go into the NFL and even have it better, right? So the coach, and then the NFL PA with the bargain agreement is so soft when it comes to practices. So it's like, okay, we can only practice this much. We can only have this many full pads. These players are now in a spotlight bigger than ever. If you watch Johnny Manziel and Club Shay Shay, we know how that turns out. So it's about having these coaches that have to be harder on these players, because if they're not, we're going to have guys, like Micah, that only has 2.5 sacks in 7 games, and he hits a podcast and says, "Oh, it was all this, oh, it was all that," right? No, Micah does a good job of taking accountability and stuff like that. But there comes a point in time where you have to say, you know what, Dak didn't play good. Not have a million excuses lined up for Dak, right? Like, bring me somebody who can develop these guys into men, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Build some toughness into the players. And also, they need to make football a priority, not their damn podcasts, and not have the guy that knocked you out of the playoffs. Why on earth would you have that? Are you trying to get some tips from how to actually beat them? Maybe. I don't know. But you need to at least you need to get in your ass in the film room, Micah, and start fucking studying. That's what you need to do. You need to take the game far more seriously. You need to have far more accountability. You need to, hey, you get your ass kicked on certain plays. You rise up and you start, developing some thick skin and being tough, not getting run over and just, giving up and quitting or whatnot. Maybe you do take accountability, but you need to really build your mental toughness up and not have this soft mentality. I think you've been coddled way too much. I feel like this whole culture just coddles players, and Jerry enables this behavior. If anything, Jerry just needs to go on his fucking yacht along with Steven and just stay there. That's what he needs to do. Get some.
You know who else enables the behavior?
Who?
The fans. Because the players are on more social media than ever. Wanye Thomas is very active on social media. Tank Lawrence. Yeah. Tank Lawrence, Jordan Lewis. A lot of these guys are active on social media. Micah Parsons is another one active on social media. The fans coddle these guys. The fans give excuses for
not all fans, right? Like us.
Yeah, exactly. And they think that Micah Parsons is over here taking pictures of fans in the airport and blasting them on social media.
Yeah,
what kind of crap is that?
What's that got to do with football? What's that got to do with the off season?
I got a buddy that lives in El Paso.
Make a freaking post about it on Twitter. Who gives a flying fuck?
I got a buddy that lives in El Paso, and Micah Parsons was there, and Aaron Jones. There was a big thing going on down there. It's 21 Armando 21. He's a big Cowboy fan on TikTok. One of my good buddies. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboy fan, 1980, by the way. So Micah Parsons was in El Paso, and he was like, I'm only signing kids' autographs. Cool. Go Cowboys kids in the house. And there's no echo. What's up, man? There's no echo.
What's up? We back.
Yeah, we are. So Micah blasting fans in the airport. All he had to say was, no, I'm just going to do kids. I'm not going to do any adults. Boom, boom, boom. He didn't have to take pictures and blast them. But that boils back to the culture. Yes, Jerry coddles them. Yes, the players do too. And I'm sorry, and the fans do too. They coddle the players, right? So there's a lot of morale here that's broken. What did you say, Cowboys kid?
What a punk to be clowning random fans in an airport. Like, the level of, you have to be such at a low point to even do that. Like, here you are, you're a millionaire working in the NFL, and you're clowning fans at an airport. What are you doing with your life, bro?
All you had to do was say no. He didn't have. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to. But it's part of the culture, right? Retro. It's part of the culture that Jerry's building, and the fans are coddling too. I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like what M Sim said, because he has a losing mentality, not a winner's mentality.
Oh, remember when Micah was drafted? He said that he was immature.
Right, and that's why I know that I'm gonna get flack for saying this. I think we should just trade Micah Parsons. I know you might disagree with that, but why would I want a weak mentality linebacker who is not, who can't really be on the field, full time? Because especially when he has to take himself out of plays, why not get some draft picks? Why not get some defensive linemen that can at least has the ability to be on that field, 100% of the time. Whether you're stuck, trying to rush the passer, stop the run, or make a tackle for loss, in the running game.
Right. No, I understand. Cowboys Face, Cowboys Face? Shout out to Cowboys Face, by the way, one of my good buddies. Cowboy Kid. My God, I'll get this right. Any topics that you want to bring to the show?
Let me think. Do we keep Stephon Gilmore? I know there's funny stuff with the contract, but in your opinion, what do you feel about Stephon Gilmore?
Do you want to take that one, Retro?
How do I feel? I mean, if you bring him back for the right price, maybe, but I feel like the age will eventually catch up. And if he becomes injured again, is he not going to be able to perform at the level he did at the beginning of the season? That's the question. Could he? Right. Is he going to hold up if one little separated shoulder prevents him from doing any kind of tackling or covering well? Although that was really on Dan Quinn's part for the way he called those zone coverages that allowed Green Bay just to run free over us. So at the right price, maybe, but I wouldn't mind, going for another guy in the draft or maybe someone in free agency. I don't know.
For me, DeRon Bland out of Fresno State, shout out to Simus. He was right about this kid all day long. Cowboys champ in the building. Dallas Cowboy fan. Man, the vibes are just popping tonight, man. What's up, everybody? But for me, you got guys like DeRon Bland who proved, hey, I'm not a slot guy. I can play on the outside. Then you got Trayvon Diggs coming back from ACL injury. You can go draft a slot corner in this draft. They're going to be there for you, right? So you don't necessarily have to go after Stephon Gilmore, right? And if you do, you can give him cheap because you're not desperately needing him. And what other team is looking for a 32-year-old corner, right? So Cowboys have some leverage there where they don't have to pay $7 million for Stephon Gilmore. They could probably get 3 with incentives, right? And I wouldn't mind that. Because then you have Stephon, you have Trey, and you got DeRon Bland. But I'm not opposed to getting somebody young and talented within the first 4 rounds of the draft.
100%. I wouldn't mind getting at least a 4-3, 4-2 guy. You have Diggs, you have a 4-2, 4-3 guy that can cover the speedy wide receivers. Because you saw what DK Metcalf did to Bland back in that Seattle game. I would have Bland back in the slot where he really excelled at. Sure, he may not get the turnovers as much, but if he can cover that slot side well, I think he should stay there. So that's my honest opinion.
Cowboys, Mike Mosh of the builder too. What's going on, everybody? I just need 2 people to click like. This is Talking Crazy on the Corner. Crazy Cowboys. We'll bring it to you every Saturday. Anybody's welcome as long as you're a Cowboy fan, and any topic is welcome. So yeah, we've talked about my countdown on Twitter and all the soft fans on that. We've talked about Mike. We talked about Dan Quinn. We talked about Stephon Gilmore, Tank Lawrence, Micah Parsons. How do the Cowboys, let me word this right. And I'll start with you, Cowboy Kid. How do the Cowboys build this up where we have 12-5 consecutive 3 times, right? How does Mike McCarthy, Mike Zimmer build this up where they can keep that consistent? How does that happen?
I really think the key to consistency is getting rid of Dak Prescott. I just don't see it. And the key to consistency to make it to a Super Bowl, regular season, he may have had an MVP season and all that, crap. But when we get to the playoffs, when I think consistency, I think playoff time. Playoff time, we're right there. We are actual contenders. All this hype about us going to the Super Bowl, I believed it. I bought into it. But hey, when we were what was it, 8-0 at home? We came to against the Packers. We were like, oh yeah, we got those boys. Yeah, we about to kill them. We pulled up 27-0 at the half. What's happening?
I don't know.
They weren't ready. That's what I was. You go ahead. I didn't mean
No. Go ahead. Oh, were you finished, Cowboy Kid, or did you want to add on?
Law talking about we were tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, you got all that rest, boy. What are you
doing? Yeah. This is Cowboys Kid right here, y'all. This is the flavor he brings. He had technical difficulties last week, but he back in full effect. Retro Scotty, how do the Cowboys keep this consistency of winning? Because I'll let you go. Then I'll tell you why I'm asking this question.
Okay. Well, first off, if they want to get anywhere, I feel like they need to do a slight rebuild and retooling. And that starts with, the offensive line and possibly getting a new quarterback for the future that doesn't panic under pressure, that, performs when the game is on the line. You want a quarterback that is going to fight for you, that's going to lead you down no matter if you're up by 20 or if you're down by a touchdown or down by 20. You know what? You got to get a guy that knows how to manage the game well, doesn't panic under pressure, doesn't try to lock onto a wide receiver and still throw the ball and throw a dumbass pick as usual. And Dak's not that guy. I'm sorry. I after that 49 game, I thought Dak turned it around the way he was performing in the next, 8-9 games, the way he had an MVP-like season. I bought into it. I thought, hey, maybe this was a different Dak with the way McCarthy was calling plays and everything. Hey, I think Dak finally got it. Then when the playoffs came and you're throwing 2 picks and a pick 6 that just, becomes soul crushing. No, I'm sorry. Dak is not that guy. He just doesn't have it in him. He's overpaid and so many other negative things you can think about. He just doesn't perform well under pressure. We want a quarterback that can perform well under pressure, doesn't have to light up the scoreboard or the stats or become, like Stat Prescott, which is what I'm going to call him now. But anyways, get a new quarterback, retool that offensive line, get rid of the players that are just, have this soft mentality to themselves that don't have the mental toughness, to overcome the odds whenever, if you're down, you quit and all that. You can't give up. You got to always give 100% or more than 100% regardless of what you're doing. And you need better coaches too. More accountability, more of just maximizing the talent and also making sure that the players perform to their standards. So yeah, maybe I don't know if it's something you heard before, but that's just my honest opinion.
No, I agree with both of you guys. Here's why I'm saying this is because what Mike McCarthy has done. Yes, Mike McCarthy is one of those coaches that choke at the end. But what he's built here with 3 consecutive 12-5 seasons, we haven't seen that. We've had consecutive, 4-12 seasons, 5-12 seasons. We've had losing consecutive 8-8s, consecutive 5-12, 12-4s, 4-12s. I mean, consecutive 4-12s, consecutive 8-8. Now we're here sitting here with Mike McCarthy with consecutive 12-5s, back to back to back to back.
Yeah, we're good enough to make the playoffs, but can't seem to perform or even get past the divisional round. And he hasn't done that for a while.
Right. Here's my fear, though. Cowboys won the NFC East. Commanders, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. Haven't won that since the Eagles did it back-to-back in 2003. So we're sitting here over 20 years of not having a back-to-back winner in the NFC East. So with the Cowboys winning the NFC East because how bad the Eagles fumbled, I don't like that trend of can we do that? Because we haven't done it in over 20-something years of winning it back-to-back, the NFC East crown, right? So then I look at that statistic, right? Then I look at, okay, how are we going to build our linebackers up from scratch? Because that's really what we have to do. Overshown coming off an ACL injury. Tell me what player recently came back from an ACL injury that has a star on their helmet. Terrence Steele came back, looked like crap. Jabril Cox had an ACL injury. He's not even on the team anymore, and he had a lot of success, or he had a lot of potential to have a lot of success.
I feel like Quinn didn't quite use him as much as he should have. That's
right. So, and then you look at Michael Gallup, who hasn't been the same since he had an ACL injury. So now we got Trayvon Diggs coming back from an ACL injury, and we got Overshown coming back from an ACL injury. With Jabril Cox, with Terrence Steele, with Michael Gallup having those ACL injuries, and them not being the same players that they once were before that injury, that scares me. Right? So how does Trayvon Diggs look, and how does Overshown look? Because Overshown, we didn't get to see him in a regular season game, but we got to see him in preseason, in training camp, and he looked like he was dynamite. Right? So then when I say that, you have to build the linebacker core up from scratch. And how does Mike Zimmer do that? And how does he do that successfully in 1 year? Because this is the make or break year for Mike McCarthy, potentially Dak Prescott if he doesn't get extended. And Mike Zimmer could be looking for another job, which is going to be hard for him to do because nobody wanted him but the Cowboys. Right? He said there was another team talking to him, but that's full of crap. So you look at all that. Brandon Cooks, they didn't use Brandon Cooks how Brandon Cooks is supposed to be used. So then you look at outside of CeeDee Lamb, we're back to square one. You look at the linebackers, that's ground zero. You look at our corners. Do we trust a 32-year-old Stephon Gilmore to come in here, or do we get younger? Right? There's so many what ifs, and the Cowboys gave up draft picks for Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. So that sweet spot of 5th, 6th round picks is kind of mixed. So you got to hit on your first 4. Will McClay and Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, they didn't have a good draft last year. Mozzie Smith, Schoonmaker, Awesome Richards, Overshown, Fahoko, Jalen Brooks. You look at the draft class, nobody showed up for us. So how can I trust these Cowboys to, number one, make a good decision on Dak Prescott, make good decisions in free agency, and make good decisions in the draft? That's why they should have fired Mike McCarthy, and they should have fired Dan Quinn. They let Dan Quinn go pick his head coaching job. He should have been fired along with Mike McCarthy. That's a winning mentality. So that's why I asked that question, because there's so many question marks going into this offseason. And so I don't know how you keep this consistent because there's so many question marks behind it. Anybody got anything to say on top of that? Piggyback off of that?
I just want to say, I was one of those guys when Dak made that stupid decision last year to run the ball with 15 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, 2 years ago. Yeah, against the 49ers.
I was that guy who was defending Dak. This year, first round exit against the
Packers.
I can't let that. That's unexcusable right there. Mm-hmm. To have the season that you had, to lead us in the position we had, to hype the fans up. I believe we were going to the Super Bowl. But then to go and turn around in the first round exit like that, that's crazy. I'm still shocked. And you can't give out 3 chances like that. The third, and I was telling my friends, that third time's the charm. This is our year. We're about to get past the 49ers. All this. Man, I went back to school on Monday. I said, I don't have anything to say.
There you go. The Cowboys didn't back you up.
No, they did not.
No. Oh, we got Cowboys champ in the building. What's up, Cowboys champ? Let me get you in here. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Finally got on, man. Finally got on.
And you're on your phone. You figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Welcome aboard. Okay. What do you got? What do you got for the show? Bring it on. We're here for it. It's Crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Drop it like it's hot.
I want to talk about some of the fans' love fest for Dak Prescott. especially the future either $60 million contract per year or another rumor I heard he wants 4 years, $400 million. 4 years, $400 million. I don't know if how true that is, but they said he wants to change up the quarterback market.
Reset the quarterback market, huh?
Yes.
That would be
for
way
Billy Rock. You're paying a damn bus driver elite money.
That's the problem with the Joneses. They just overvalue and just love their guys way too much.
Yeah.
Whatever keeps putting money in their pockets, that's what matters to the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's a lame duck year.
Damn sure.
4 years, $400 million.
If that's what he wants,
yeah,
he's definitely fucking nuts for that.
That's $100 million a year. That's impossible.
Yeah, and then another one I heard, like I said, the 4 years, $60 million a year. That's what, $260 million. Yeah, 240. Yeah, that's still too much for him. 4 years.
Here.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody, no quarterback, whether it's Burrow, Allen, Lamar, no quarterback should be making more than Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is the standard.
Thank you.
Quarterbacks right now.
There's a reason why he's the comeback kid. He's the guy who is elite, and our quarterback is far from elite.
Far from it.
Yeah,
far from it. And then I'm okay. I've been, looking at other Cowboys contenders or creators. They're talking about who the Cowboys should get: offensive line, defensive line, running backs, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter until they solve this $59.4 million problem.
I already solved it.
I know. I cut his ass. Take the hit. What?
No, don't cut him. You don't got to cut him. You don't got to cut him.
Right?
He screws up, he's gone. That's what you do.
Right?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, what is the Cowboy corner? Trade him?
No, this is what you do. Okay, this is what you do. And this is the situation that the Dallas Cowboys are in, right? You got a lame duck year for Mike McCarthy. So you're all in there. Jerry said he's not building for the future. So you don't extend Dak. You restructure that contract and let him play this year. And this is where you say, Dak, this is your last chance. And if you get us to an NFC championship game, I will pay you $60 million a year because there's potential there to launch us into that Super Bowl, right? So then that secures Mike McCarthy, right? So you have Mike McCarthy on his last year, you have Dak on his last deal. You restructure that, you use the voidable years. And you tell Dak and Mike McCarthy, this is y'all's year. If y'all don't do it, you're done. You're done. And that's how the Cowboys should handle it. Because if you could restructure that contract, you can get $20 million. You can restructure other guys, you can get $45 million of cap space. That's plenty of money to. You don't have to sign CeeDee Lamb this year. You don't have to sign Micah Parsons this year. That's the beauty of this year and Mike McCarthy and Dak potentially being on their last year with the Dallas Cowboys. Because you can blow this shit up. You can trade Micah, you can trade CeeDee Lamb, and you can go get all these picks, and you can go rebuild this thing quicker than you can blink. Right?
And
Jerry has to step back and call Troy, call Emmett, call Irvin, and say, which one of y'all want to be GM? Jerry does that, we're set. But that's a pipe dream, right? But this is talking crazy. You can say whatever you want. I'm talking crazy.
Make a serious effort to Jimmy Johnson as well, too. When you're at it.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, that was just more of. But here, I'm glad you brought that up, Retro. Let me say this real quick. If you hear those comments of what Jimmy Johnson said, he said I was on the phone for an hour with Jerry Jones. We talked about the decisions, the big decision he has to make. The big decisions he has to make on Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, and Dak Prescott. If there's big decisions to make, what does that tell you? Read between the lines. He is not a believer in Dak Prescott. Last year at the Senior Bowl, the press conference was like, Dak's our guy, he's a great leader, yada yada yada. This year, the tone was, you know what we think about Dak Prescott. They didn't elaborate on it, they didn't speak more on it. They shut the hell up after they said, you know what we think about our quarterback. Jerry said, you know what we think about our quarterback, he'll take us as far as he could take us. There was no stamp of approval. There was none of that for Dak. So when you look at the pieces here and you look at those verbiages and you sit back and you're like, And then you go back 4 years ago and Jerry looks at Dak Prescott and says, I overpaid for you. He didn't say that to, what was that linebacker from Notre Dame that we had here? Jalen Smith. He didn't say that to Jalen Smith. He didn't say it to Lyle Collins. He didn't say it to those players that got paid in that time with Dak Prescott. He didn't say it to any player but Prescott. I overpaid for you. Before that, Brian Broaddus dropped the nugget that says Jerry was going around the Star asking people, is Dak Prescott really our guy? Fast forward, they agree on a contract, and Jerry said, I overpaid for you. So when fans say that they have no choice but to extend Dak Prescott, it's a bold-faced lie. It's a bold-faced lie because they got voidable years. It's just soft culture fans that just care about individual success and doesn't represent this star, all these stars behind me, the star on Cowboys kids' face, the star on your hearts. They don't want to represent that. They want to represent the individual player, and i.e. they're called player fans.
The reason why I disagree with giving Dak one more chance is because this is why we're in the predicament we're in right now. We've given him that one last chance. No, I thought third time was the charm, but no, we're on our fourth term. It's not happening. What I'm saying is that if they put Dak on that 4-year, $400 million contract, I'm gonna take all my Cowboy stuff, I'm gonna put it in a vault, and 4 years from now, when I'm 17, I'm gonna open that vault right back up, take it out, and see how I can move on forward. See if they put him on another contract.
Yeah. Hopefully every Dak Prescott jersey would be burned.
Say, a guy at my job, he said he took his Prescott jersey, put inside the barbecue grill and cooked it.
This is what I don't get. So I've been off the Dak train since 2019. Anybody that follows Cowboys Corner, followed the roundtables, followed the Frisco Report, knows I have not been a fan of Dak Prescott since 2019. Okay. So I've been on this Dak train. I've been off of this Dak train since 2019. And so when I see Dak Prescott play like shit, when you hear me talk about him playing like shit, it's authentic. But when the Dak fans realize what I've been saying, their raw emotions say he's been playing like shit, that we need to get rid of Dak, and then they'll cool down, and they're like, oh, no, Dak Prescott's fine.
Oh, and then I got one more. They'll say, well, he was the second runner up for the MVP. He had the most. It was his best statistic year ever.
Yes, that's
man. I had a guy to call me delusional on one of my videos because I said I was done with Dak Prescott, and I gave him. I'm going back the past 3 years. Each time in the playoffs, the defense they was there for the Cowboys to win, but Dak failed. But against Green Bay, more excuses than allow. Man, 8 years still making rookie mistakes.
Yeah, He's still making mistakes like he did 8 years ago. If he has not improved since then, what makes you think he's going to somehow turn a corner?
Playoff Dak is a real thing. It is.
Yeah. Retro, what you got?
What my opinion of Prescott, or just in general?
Whatever you want to talk crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys.
Well, okay, I guess I can get back on the subject. I mean, if Dak staying, the only reason why I only would want him to stay is so we don't go into cap hell. That's the only reason why. But I would still draft another quarterback and see what you have with him or with Trey Lance, someone that can give Dak some uneasy competition. Should Dak screw up and start having a really shitty season, say, no more Dak, you're done, you're kaput. We're going to see what we have with either Trey Lance or this rookie quarterback that we drafted. If he shows promise,
if, especially, and the last quarterback the Cowboys draft, high enough, was Troy Aikman.
Yeah, in the first round. Then I think
and then the second highest quarterback they drafted, Quincy Carter.
Yeah, he had some promise, but his head wasn't right. He'd rather do a lot of weed than football, even though he is highly talented. But then we drafted another mid-round quarterback that didn't exactly pan out. That was Stephen McGee in 2009.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Everyone remembers that guy.
Yeah.
Then we drafted a potential one in Mike White, but he never showed much of anything. But surprisingly, showed something with the Jets of all things.
Right.
You know what? I got our future wide receiver in the event that we get rid of CeeDee Lamb.
Who is it?
Jerry Wright's kid for USC.
Oh. Okay. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys kid VTPSTTU agrees with you that 2023 should have been his prove it year. But this is why I say that, because Mike McCarthy's on his lame duck year. Dak Prescott, if you extend him, you're going to give another head coach a problem. And the head coach has to believe in Dak Prescott. And let's say the Cowboys make it to the playoffs, right? Let's say that. And Dak chokes again. Mike McCarthy's fired. Who wants to come into to Dak Prescott and says, you know what, I can turn him around? A quarterback that's going to be turning 32 under your leadership when the season starts and on that next head coach. So that's why I'm saying Mike and Dak, this should be their last year. This should be their last prove-it year. How do you get over that hump? Because it's hard. It would be harder. Or check this out. Or you can do this. You don't do anything about Dak Prescott's contract. You go through minicamp, you go to OTAs, and you go through training camp, right? And you evaluate if you draft a quarterback, and you evaluate if you Trey Lance, all right? And you get to see that. And you can do it all the way up to preseason. And then before week one, you can see what you have with Dak Prescott on the roster, and then you can trade him. Because if you trade him, it's only a $30 million cap hit for the next 2 years if you trade him after June 1st. So they have opportunities to do this. But the big content creators are not going to talk about this because it's not their agenda. It's not their swag. But we'll do it right here on Talking Crazy. And so
because they love their Dak. Dak can't do no wrong.
Yeah. They think Dak is the best thing since sliced bread. Or they're just holding on to that hope that maybe Dak somehow gets over that hump, which I don't see happening. Hey, I wanted to believe that Dak will somehow turn the corner. I believe that in the regular season. I really thought he had till the playoffs came on and he regressed to being the Dak that panics under pressure, makes horrible decisions. And just another big problem I always had is he always took fucking sacks where he could have easily got rid of the ball instead of just taking a sack. It still pisses me off about that. Still pisses me off about Dak.
He did that in the playoff game.
Simon, you know they ain't not gonna try to tank because Jerry Jones got to have them winning so they can for the 85% of fans out there continue to buy products, buy those jerseys,
Hey,
buy those party
Cowboys,
packs.
you know this much was when they went 4-12, 3 years in early 2000. When they went 8-8 in the middle of the 2020s.
It's 79. Yep.
When the Cowboy stuff still sold. The value of the Cowboys still went up.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what, man?
You're right. Jerry's not going to want a tank. But if you can get on the phone, hey Troy, you want a job? Hey Emmett, you want a job? Hey Herb, you want a job? I need some GMs in here. I need someone to make decisions because Stephen Jones fucking this up. I'm fucking this up. I want to win before I
die. Mm-hmm.
I need some high character, highly critical.
Oh, and I'm sorry for cussing Cowboys kid. I forgot you were in here, dog. I'm so sorry.
It's not like you don't hear that at school every day.
All right.
Yeah.
You got anything to add, Cowboy kid?
No, I mean, I just when is Jerry Jones gonna take a step down?
When is that gonna happen, champ?
Ego.
His narcissistic ego just takes over.
I mean, hey, it's like Joe Biden. It's gonna stay.
Thank you, Joe.
Like, come on now, boy.
Say, you know what? That's Grandpa urine. That President Grandpa urine.
He's like Joe Biden just sticking around.
That was a good one. I like that one. I like that.
Now that's funny. Cowboys champ, you're getting subs too, brother. Heck yes. Thank you guys. But no, that was funny, Cowboys kid. Cowboys champ, what else you got, brother? What else you got? I know you got something. You got something juicing coming.
Man, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get like I had to work today. You know?
Yeah, we have to close it up too. It's already been an hour and 16 minutes. Been on.
Another thing. I'm going back to these damn delusional fans. Okay. You see how the Cowboys bragging about $9 billion that the franchise is worth. They the number one sports franchise again because of the fans. The 85%, it may be higher, it may be lower, but I'm sticking with 85% of the fans because they are the ones who buy the goddamn jerseys. They are the ones who are going to 7-Eleven buying those Slurpee cups. They're buying the Cowboys condoms, the Cowboys toilet paper, anything that's Cowboys, they buying it. And all that money is Jerry is pocketing it. And you see, you made a point, Cowboys Corner, a while back. 2014, you remember the first game, Cowboys 49ers. Half of the stadium was filled with 49er fans. They got to get back to that level because when you see the Cowboys playing and you see more of the other fans color of the other team versus the Cowboys, it's going to look right for Jerry. That's not the bottom line. He needs the Cowboys to be winning in order to get those ticket sales. And that's the only way that this culture is going to change. And really, we can talk about strong head coach, running back, quarterback, all that. We can talk about all of that. But bottom line, it's still Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones to the problem.
Cowboy condoms. Is that what you said? Did you say Cowboys condoms? Oh my goodness. All right. Retro Scotty, what's your
I'm out of here, man. Y'all thanks for having me, man.
All right.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Cowboys chat. We'll see you again. Okay. I know I will. Okay. See you in the group chat.
Yeah.
Retro Scotty, what you got, man? What you got for closing statements?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. It's a combination of the Joneses and the fans, and the fact that here's the thing. I'm going to be out and say this. Jerry Jones thinks we're all fucking stupid. He thinks that we're all going to just buy into his bullshit, the typical car salesman shit, where he says Just trust us and buy into us. I can see us going so far in the playoffs, or we're going to be in the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And fans are still buying this, still buying the jerseys like Cowboys, what was his name?
Cowboys champ.
Cowboys champ said. As long as the majority of the fans, not all, will continue to buy all the jerseys, buy the tickets, buy scratch-off tickets at convenience stores, pay for those nice little suites in the stadium. As long as they continue to do this, it's going to enable Jerry's pockets and continue to fill, what he desires most. Just making the money and just, hoping that, he continues to get the wins and all that stuff. And it's amounted to nothing,
Right.
We as fans need to take a stand and say, no, we demand better. We want coaches that know how to hold players accountable, that knows how to scheme effectively, that can beat the opponent and beat an even better opponent that they have never faced before at any stake in the season. I mean, and also get players who actually are committed to football, not to doing stupid social media, not to have a fucking rap career, and also get involved in a gang-related shooting, or the infamous Joseph Randall, where he's stealing underwear and he's still making more money than all of us regular fans. Seriously? You steal underwear?
And cologne.
The cologne, or yeah.
Underwear and cologne, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, get players that know how to play the game, not get a talented player with a 10-cent head. I'm sorry if I'm, being realistic on that. So yeah.
Do your thing. It's talking crazy. This is talking crazy. That's what you got. Is that all you got? Is there you got more?
Commitment to football with someone with a brain that knows right from wrong and doesn't do stupid shit, or has to, have a moment in the, where he's speed racing like Sam Williams did, or the little incident with Rashad Evans,
right?
Or Micah and his Twitter feed and having people
Sam Williams
get some actual people that are willing to be productive and show they're dedicated to, playing football and aspiring to be championship type of players like the Chiefs do.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the whole merchandising, that's got to stop. We got to send a message to Jerry. We will not tolerate mediocrity or, paper champs during the regular season and go from sugar to shit in the next game, Right.
Right. Cowboys kid, what's your closing statements, brother? Thanks for coming on. Retro Scotty.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I just want to say, I personally don't have a problem with Micah Parsons and his podcast. You can do all of that, but then come on the field and be a dog. Like, don't talk all that smack against the 49ers. We're going to kill y'all on your stupid little podcast and then look like a little punk when you go up against them. If you're gonna talk all that talk on your podcast, show up and get it done in the game. If 2 + 2 is 4, then 2 of it is your podcast, then the other 2 must be the field. So make it add up. It's not adding up right now. So what I'm saying is, you can have your podcast, but don't talk all that stuff and then show up and be mediocre and trash.
Nope, I get it. No, all great points from everybody. Cowboys champ. Thanks for coming on, Retro Scott. Thanks for coming on.
Also, make another point,
go ahead.
If you don't mind. Also, Steven,
no,
stop being fucking cheap and actually sign some actual free agents that are going to contribute and don't have an injury history or their players past their prime. Get some actual contributors that will actually contribute to building some wins up and improving the overall offensive or defensive scheme of things. So that's what you need to do. Stop being a fucking cheapskate. That's it.
No, all good stuff. Here's my closing statements. And Cowboys champ hit it right on the head with the soft fans. As fans, when is enough? Whether that's with, Neville Gallimore, Tank Lawrence saying that they retired, Dak Prescott. When do we get together as Cowboy fans and actually agree on something? Why do we always got to be either you're anti-Dak or you're pro-Dak, you're this, you're that? We need to get together here, because whether you're pro-Dak or whether you're against Dak, the results are staying the same. And the only way you can get different results is holding people accountable for what they do on the field. And Dak Prescott off the field, amazing human being. One of the best people you can ever talk to. I've had the privilege of talking to Dak at training camp. Well, I talked to Robert Quinn at training camp. I got to talk to Tristan Hill at training camp. I've got to talk to a lot of players at training camp. And Dak Prescott, one hell of a human being. Off the field.
Off the field.
On the field. We got to hold players accountable. And we all have to get together as Cowboy fans and agree that when is enough. Because you've been here 3 years in a row, and it was the same result. We didn't get to an NFC championship. The only team in NFL history to have 36 wins in 3 years and not reach a championship game. Not a Super Bowl, a championship game. All right? And I've said this many times. If Dak Prescott can lead us to an NFC championship game, he don't even have to win it. You get us there, I will never bash Dak again, and I will buy his jersey. I've said that many times, and I'm confident when I say that because I know Dak Prescott can't do it. And when you look at this and your raw emotions turn on Dak like that when you're watching this game, your raw emotions turn on Dak, and then you give it a couple of days and you go back to the same soft culture agenda because you like clicks, you like super chats, you like donations, you like likes. When you go back to that and you go back to coddling Dak Prescott, and he sees that on social media, his PR sees that on social media, you're giving him a free pass. What Dak Prescott and these Dallas Cowboys did against the Green Bay Packers at home, where they were 16-0, they slapped us in the face. And they laughed in our face because of their performance. When you look up.
And mocking us after the game, too.
Exactly. When you look up and it says 27-0, and you're at home, and Cowboy fans pay hard-earned money for those tickets, and it's 27-0, when are the fans going to get on the same page? Because we're the ones suffering. They go to their mansions. They go to their limos. They go to their after parties. Hell, the 49ers lost the Super Bowl, and they still had an after party. What kind of shit is that? If I lost the Super Bowl, my ass is going home. There ain't no after party. We got second place. I'm not trading my jersey with you. We need better culture in Dallas. That's all I got. This is Talking Crazy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Tune in next Saturday. We will be back. Cowboys champ, Retro Scotty, Cowboys kid. Thank you guys for coming on. Cowboy Nation, are you in the Cowboys corner?